And hello, we are live. Welcome, everybody. This is John, your GM, and I am back in the GM seat after being gone, I guess, for now about 3 months. Ever since the end of Seriously Let's Play for a season, and after Ninja Crusade, our near what 5-year campaign of that finally shut down. It's nice to be back, but of course I'm gonna be horribly rusty. So if there are any problems out there in the wonderful land of Twitch, this is the first show. There are of course going to be little things that pop up, and you're going to be like, "Oh, hey, your audio's a little off here," or whatever. Guys, just feel free to throw it in there. I'll see it. We'll adjust. For shows, there's always going to be some hiccups, but I am so happy to be back here yet again, and I have a brand new table, and we're going to be playing Dragon Age. This game, of course, everybody knows the video game more than anything, and of course, we have the uh, game coming out soon. Dreadwolf, is that it? I can't remember. Is it Dreadwolf?
Yeah, yeah.
So Dreadwolf is supposed to be coming out soon from BioWare, and I'm all excited about that. But I guess being excited, I should say we are not at all aligned with BioWare or Green Ronin. This are huge fans of the Dragon Age, franchise, and the opportunity to play in the role-playing game that Green Ronin put out. We are ecstatic to have this opportunity. But that said, we're going to be doing our intros here in just one moment. Uh, and at that point, I'll let my players introduce themselves and their characters, but uh, we'll wait for that moment. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us started in the way that Dragon Age always kind of starts, right? And that is in Dragon Age. There is this moment of character creation when you're playing the video game where, as you're deciding upon your character, their traits, and everything else, you're choosing cards that represent you, your backstory, parts of who you are, and building that character from that moment forward. And I really have always enjoyed that part of it. And we're going to mimic that a little bit tonight as we get to know our players and their characters. So, that said, let's go ahead and meet a character. Who here would like to be first to tell us a little bit about their character?
I can do
Rev?
it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Are we introducing by card first?
Yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your character, and a little bit about the card that you chose.
Mm. So I'm Rev. A lot of you know me from the Discord. Some of you have seen me here in the excuse me, the player seat, but also the GM seat running well, Alien is what I've run most recently. Um, Terrifying the hell out of people. I do have a regular Sunday home game, and I'm working on a couple of projects run right now. One of them is a TTRPG. So more to come as I have more to talk about. My character's name is Luvia Vasquez. She is a Ravani merchant, um, and a little bit of ways from home here in Valudo. Um, and the card that I chose for her, do you want me to just describe it or give you the tarot card that it is, John?
Either. You can go ahead and
Okay.
describe it and tell us a little bit about it.
So imagine, if you will, this card, and on it is the image of a dark-haired young woman. She comes it comes fully into focus. She has her head bowed and resting on the brow of a Mabari hound. She's gently cradling the hound's face in her hands. The Mabari also bows his head in kind. His eyes are closed. There's a sense of trust between them. Colorful orbs of light dance around, sending sparkles of light across both of them. The image starts to swirl, its meaning clouded. Should it stop and stay upright? It could mean courage, perseverance, and a harnessing of her inner strength. But if it's reversed, it could mean failure, insurmountable problems, and suppressed truth. Where will it stop? Where will it land? Only time will tell. and that's Danny's card. Or Lou's card, sorry.
All right. Who would like to go next? Introducing their character to everyone. I'm gonna call names.
I can go. So, hey y'all. My name is Stevie. I use he, him, himself pronouns. I've been on Rook and Rasp a couple of times as a player and once as a game runner in a Seriously Let's Play. And my character, Amara Palier, she is a Templar trainee. So, she's a Templar in training. And she currently has a very interesting relationship with one of the characters here and is the guardian or just had protector of one of the characters here. And when we think about the card that represents her, it looks a little crumpled, almost like it's been shoved into a pocket a lot and like used up a little bit. But after flattening it out a little bit, you can see a stormy sky with lightning, and in the foreground up in the front you can see graves scattered with hands that with mage hands sticking up out of the graves. And kneeling in the center is a Templar with the sword pointed point down, head bowed over the hilt. And you can see the Golden City in the background, far to the right, as there are spirits playing trumpets kind of like coming out of the gates. And on the left, you can see a Templar shield with the insignia on it as it sits in shadow. Yeah, that's my card.
Nice. I really think that following that up with some things, you know, I think this would be a good time to meet Ilian.
Yes. Hello there. I am Frankie. I use they them pronouns as well as my character does as well. Ilian, Toussaint. Ilian is a circle mage, noble or legion background, and I am not kidding. My card also, we did not make these together. My card contains storm themes as well. But Ilian's card is, in contrast, I think, to Amara's like crumple, is pristine. Clearly, like the kind that was like you might find like in a library book, like very well maintained, crisp. The kind that like you are not supposed to touch it. Like you could like somebody's gonna yell at you if you touch that thing. But it has a stormy background, but a lightning bolt coming down, cleaving in half an Orlesian mask, um, with one side broken and cracked, um, showing like underneath like a dirty, like tear streaked face. Um, and the other side just like immaculate. In the background on the broken side are um, shadows of people, nothing in like frame that you can see, but like kind of like grasping hands reaching out and like pulling at pieces of the mask. And then on the other side is like faceless, like almost like legions of like what appear to be like mages wielding staves. And yeah.
All right, awesome.
That brings us to me.
It does indeed.
I'm I am Michael. I have played on a number of Rook and Rasp productions as well as the podcast Redemption, a Star Wars actual play. I go by he, him pronouns, and today I'll be playing Leon Hubert, who also goes by he, him pronouns. Leon is an artist in the employ of the Morrow family, and Leon finds himself, well, let's just say Leon likes to live comfortably. And whether he pays for that himself or not, he cares not. Uh, the card that is revealed for Leon is the Five of Cups. The card art shows Leon standing in front of a painting on an easel, a pained look on his face with a goblet in one hand a paintbrush in the other. Around his feet, 4 other goblets are strewn, dripping wine. On the easel, a painting. A young girl crying, paint dripping fresh from the easel.
Awesome. So, with this, if we were playing in a Dragon Age game, the video games, there's this moment of when you pick your characters and it begins to take you into kind of a strange animatic or film of what exactly the story is, where you begin. And for us, for you, my players, I said I was going to bring you into the story, and this, of course, is for our audience as well, give them a little bit of an idea of who we all are. And I'm going to take you into a dream. All of you are sharing this dream. Now, I want to say that you are all figures within the dream, but you are unaware of who each other are. In fact, there's almost a sense that you might be the same person. So, we're going to start with that for our story. You are dust and shadows, beings of thought in the ephemera, the personification of I think, therefore I am. This is the dream, and in the dream, only those things that are absolute are those things that my voice describes. Nothing else exists. Except should you describe it, and then it becomes part of the dream. And what are dreams? Stories of who we are, portents of what will become. Take heed and tread carefully. The power beyond and forgotten gods love to create and consume fate. Now, the sound of rushing wind and perhaps wings can be heard, drawing your attention into the ephemera. A quill covered in red ink falls from the sky faster than a feather, falling tip first as if an arrow sent from heaven with maligned purpose. What do you do? And one of you can answer, any of you can answer. If you want to talk about it.
Amara immediately retreats. Tries to back up, put distance between her and this falling quill.
How about
Blue
the
Can we
watches
s-
it fall.
Can we
Hand
see
ready.
where it's gonna land?
Not yet. And Rev, what was that again?
She'll hand ready at weapons. Just watches it fall on guard.
Leon reaches for the quill as it falls.
Excellent. 1 second, Miss. For Leon, then. Go ahead and we're going to do a test. First test of the evening. How's that sound?
Ooh, certainly.
Now, you're going to roll 3d6, and I'm just going to call for one of your, for your dexterity. So
All right.
3d6 plus your dexterity for the moment. And I'll go ahead and say that this test is going to be an average test. So it's going to be an 11.
All right, and John, just to review, because it's been a number of weeks, I drop the lowest and then add my dex.
No, you roll all three
Sum the
together.
three?
All
Alright.
three, and add
good.
your ability.
Wonderful. 17.
Awesome. You reach out and you grab the quill as it falls, but as it falls, it's sharp and it cuts open your hand. Looking at your hand briefly, you see that the cut is not just flesh. You look into it and it is a valley. As if you see figures and people moving about. But then you look up again, and all of you at what you see. The point is now larger than a harpoon, and it skewers a wooden floor before you, cracking and splintering aged decking. You can hear the sounds of screams. Blood covers the ground around the quill, flowing in rivulets from the shaft. The smell of smoke fills your nostrils, and although you swear you hear people all around you, you see no one but each other. Now suddenly, what was once a quill is now a tall, wooden pillar, and it begins to fall, filling you with dread. What do you do?
Dodge out of the way.
I try and catch it.
I think that I'd try to blast it away with a spell?
Leon attempts to sidestep.
We can't hear you, John.
Oh, sorry. The two of you that sidestep, you move quickly out of the way. And Frankie, for Ilian, go ahead and give me a magic roll.
That seems reasonable. That is a 15?
You succeed, but as your spell hits it, it transforms. It changes shape almost. The wooden pillar clatters with a metallic sound, but it is not a pillar. It's now a sword. And although you swear moments ago it was tens of feet tall, it is now only an arm and a half in length. It lies on the cobblestone floor, polished and smoothed by decades of utilitarian use, and not necessarily by design. Your eyes rest on it for a moment before looking up to see a horde of orange glowing eyes approaching. What do you do?
I pick up the sword. And I kind of stand in a defensive posture. I look around at these people who I don't know around, and I try to take a step forward.
All right, and this is a dream. If others of you are trying to grasp the sword, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Do I see that this other person has the sword and is stepping forward in a defensive posture, ready to receive attack posture? I can see that.
I'm going to say, let's go ahead and have you make a perception check.
17.
You do, in fact, actually see the figure with the sword.
Then I'll draw. I will take my hands away from my swords, draw my bow to give support.
Okay. Michael?
Leon would have stepped back from the advancing horde behind our large protective friend and drawn his bow as well.
Think Ilian would flinch as if they wanted to run after seeing the horde. Presuming it looks maybe similar to something we've seen before. And it braces themselves and also hides behind the very tall person.
Now, the eyes fly to you at alarming speed. Bats carried on leathery wings, fangs dripping with a luminous blue ichor, swarm past you from the depths. Your stomach turns to the sound of an inhuman guttural noise beyond. These creatures are not looking to fight you, but flee something even worse. A figure in armor walks out before you. The sword that you once saw, that you thought you had in your hand, that you had picked up from the ground, is now in their hand. And then in their other hand is a standard, a banner. They beckon you to stand shoulder to shoulder, to face whatever is coming by their side. At your back, behind you, you sense, you feel, is everything you care about. For example, whether it's family or wealth. Everything good to you, even those things that you think might be minuscule in importance, your love, your decency, your laughter, are exposed and bare. Before you turn and face whatever is to come, you look back one last time. What do you see?
I don't look back. I'm too afraid to look back.
Ilian looks back and sees face very similar to their own, but one that clearly has like more laugh lines and smiles and like is a happier face. Um, that is burned and then turns back around.
Amara sees her father, but her father from when she was a child. So there's almost this like glow of nostalgia, of warmth around him. He's a much younger man, and he's looking off into the distance, looking away from her. And she turns back around.
Leon takes a brief look over his shoulder and only sees the shadow of someone smaller reaching for him.
You turn your face back forward, for those of you who had turned and looked. Back to the unseen threat. And reality splits before you. A green shaft of light, the sound of limitless power without end. The screams of ageless voices. The smell of ozone and burning hair. All of this illuminates the darkness and reality sunders. And you are pulled with one part of it. You feel the figure standing before you, and some of those who stood behind you pulled the other way. But you're not dust and shadows. You lie in your bed in fitful sleep. But dreams always pass with dawn, don't they? And this is where our story will now begin. So, of course, I wanted to bring you in. I've always, in the other Dragon Age games, y'all remember those little opening scenes and the animatics and the way this pulls you into the game. Well, we're going to start a little bit after dawn. Quite a bit, actually. So, give me just one moment here, and I'm going to explain to our audience where we're starting for our game. If you haven't seen any of our posts on social media, and really quick, I want to be sure to say hello out there to everyone tuning in tonight. Thank you, Tentacle Greg, Porter, Allah, and I think that is Anime Girl.
Haley.
Yeah, Kaylee, thank you so much, everybody, for coming in tonight. I really hope you enjoy it. Duckburg, thank you so much for also coming out and joining us. I saw that you had followed us earlier. So, tonight's game and this campaign will be taking place in Orlais. Kind of a... How would y'all describe Orlais if you did?
Very, or at least part of Orlais, is very high society, very concerned with appearances, and very literally and figuratively always wearing masks of different faces and at different times to suit different purposes, never quite revealing what's underneath, and also French.
Very
And
French.
Also French.
It's cold. It's colder than Ravane. It's got not as good a food as Ravane, shitty rum, and people who play games with other people's lives. That's how Lou would describe it.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Uh, so our game is going to take place roughly in the vicinity of the third Dragon Age game that came out, Inquisition. What I'll be hinting at, and I have an animatic that will probably be shown next time to explain this a little bit more, but we're in a somewhat parallel world caused by the Sundering, the rift that happens in that game. And I'm going to leave it there for the description at the moment, and you'll come to understand a little more of the differences between the Orlais of the video game and the Orlais that our characters find themselves in. So, the Empress Selene Valmont has had a long and successful reign at this point, guiding Orlais into an age of prosperity. On the night of the celebration of her 20 years of reign, the entirety of her staff disappeared, and the Council of Heralds were assassinated. Fires were lit in the capital. Months were spent looking for culprits or any trace of what happened. Nothing was ever found. The nation has fractured as forces now vie for control of the nation with the loss of their ruler. The nephew to the Empress Valmont, known as Adrian Valmont the Just, who is a known chevalier and minor war hero of the realm, is one of the figures leading one of these forces. Another is the rumored to be secret child of Gaspard du Chalons, known as the Duke Leopold du Chalons, has been put forward by the Montfort family, whose own royal and noble lineage brings a great deal of weight to their claim. And finally, Duke Nicholas Duval Montaigne, who now leads the largest army and is expected to be the leader after what may end up being a large and bloody conflict, and who is supported by a group calling themselves the Duchy Council after the fall of the Council of Heralds. Our story takes place in Valudos, or however you wish to say it. If you're from Texas, it might just be Valudos. I don't know.
Valladolce.
We're in Via Con Dios.
Which I will say right now, do not expect me to do French accents. If everybody in this land is French, I'm not going to do it. So, not happening, but, you know, I will do some voices occasionally. But Valudos lies up the river of the Val Royaux. It's a charming little hamlet where the Udos spills into the river Sarcelle before it empties into the waking sea. It's an idyllic town, home to freshwater fisheries and some of the finest ales and wines that Orlais can claim. And close enough to Port Doublé, where the Imperial Highway crosses the Sarcelle, to not have to hassle with the headache of an extensive river port. Many Val Royaux nobles have enjoyed having their summer homes here, away from the hectic city life. So, for our characters, deciding where I want to start you off, I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll address Frankie and Stevie, your characters.
Seems about right.
So, Ilian and Amara, you are on the road, and you have been dispatched by the Chantry to go and check in on let me pull that up here really quick. The Moreau family. Now, The Moreau family is one of the larger noble families of this area of Orlais. Uh, Probably one of the more powerful ones with a very well-known winery. We'll touch on that a little bit more, but their eldest daughter, Cerise, has been attending uh, the Chantry, coming for private tutoring and lessons for quite some time. And she has recently not been in attendance probably for about 2 or 3 days.
Hmm.
So, you were on your way, and Prior Jerome uh, spoke with you and said, Ilian, it seems that the Moreau family, their eldest daughter hasn't been in attendance for her lessons recently. I think it would be a good idea for you to go by their family and check in on with them, see how they are doing, uh, just to properly maintain face in this situation. Hopefully, neither one of you have caused any sort of issue.
No, Prior.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding you, Prior. Are you implying that I, as Circle Mage, am responsible for this child not attending? I'm sure you would never imply such a thing, which is why I'm asking.
Whether it is your responsibility or not, or it was your actions or not, I think you should look into this. After all, you are one of her tutors, are you not?
I would be happy to make sure the child's okay.
Very good. Amara, please escort your charge. And turns as Brother Robert basically climbs out of the shadows nearby, clutching at their hands, rubbing them together, and saying, "Oh, Prior, I think there's something else you need to look into." And the two of them quickly make their way away from your group.
Amara scoffs and says, "Well, Mage Toussaint, shall I go grab the horses?"
Yes, Templar in training Pellier, if you would be so kind, I would greatly appreciate it.
And Amara goes and grabs the horses, gets them all saddled up.
And Ilian looks the way that the prior went, and just under their breath, just fucking prick.
Oh my.
Making sure, obviously, no one can hear them. Just
Mhm.
himself.
So Amara saddles the horses and brings them out front. Amara sets up so that her horse is going to be riding a little bit ahead of Ilian, so also they don't have to they're not next to each other, so they don't have to small talk.
Oh, thank God.
There's very much a bit of a cold shoulder situation going on.
All right.
Thank you, Templar in training Pellier. Excellent work.
Of course, Mage Toussaint. My pleasure. And she pauses her horse and looks back at you and says, "You didn't do or say anything to the child, did you?"
There's just a brief moment where, Ilian's, metaphorical mask almost slips. And they just, very quickly... Templar in training Pellier, you have accompanied me on every outing and do an excellent job of checking regularly through the day of my exact whereabouts and behavior. In what time would I have had to participate in a problem.
You raise a good point. Well, I hope the child is okay nonetheless.
I hope I can get back to my research, which is why we're here.
Ah, yes, your very important research.
Is there a problem,
Oh,
Templar in
no, not
training,
at all.
Valier?
Oh, not at all, Mage Toussaint, thank you.
Are you? I have some water. If there's something caught in your throat, I'd be happy to loan you
Oh,
my.
not at all. Very kind of you, but
Of course.
I believe we must be getting on.
Now, the chantry that you find yourselves in, that these two characters find themselves in, is this stucco edificed older building. Uh, there is, of course, the main kind of chapel to it, with a bedding quarters for roughly between 20 and 30 members of the chantry. There are only a few mages present, about two or three, but the rest of them are made up of various brothers and sisters of the faith, and also Templars.
Mhm.
Now, there is a stable where you have gotten your horses, and you make your way to the road that will lead you northward and towards the home of this noble family. And with that, we're going to pause you for a moment. And Luvia,
Yes.
uh, you are currently, we're going to say, uh, it's mid afternoon. Actually, I'd like to get an idea of from you where you think you would be.
Mid-afternoon, I'm probably at Madame Corinne's shop, making sure everything's set before I go get my lunch. Make sure she doesn't need anything before I head to the tavern to partake of some food. And if she's all set, then I'm on my way to the tavern.
Okay. So, for the most part, she seems perfectly set. Everything is nice. And it relatively is a fair day. And you are beginning to make your way towards the tavern when, with quite a bit of hurry, one of your wagons returns. Now, yes, the dri-
U-turn,
the
because I'm
driver
looking also for messages. Yeah.
the driver of the wagon and has been in your employ before and was recently handling a shipment for you. Uh, Basically stops the wagon at a quick pace. Uh, they had probably only left out a few hours ago before dawn this morning.
Hmm. Suspicious. I'm gonna make my way down to the wagon.
The
What seems
driver,
to be the problem?
I, Mr. Sylvia, I am so sorry to inform you. I was on the road and not not far from town, maybe a couple hours trip at this point. Uh, I was beset by a group of men. They robbed everything from the stagecoach.
Markings? Did they bear any markings on them?
Not really. They came and they swarmed me very quickly, and they took they took everything out of the wagon, including the package that the Moreau family had entrusted us to ship.
What? You
I
bloody lost it!
my lady, I don't
Did I
understand.
not tell you to take 2 guards with you? Did I not tell you?
Leaving early in the morning, I thought that we had
Bloody
plenty of time.
hell.
I did not. It's not normal for there to be brigands out here.
No, no, it's not.
And
The swamp folk are pleasant enough. We've dealt with them. And we know it. Oh, that fucking ferry captain.
I
Was he
don't,
down there?
I don't
Did you
think
get
so.
anything from the ferry?
That's the
Right.
thing. And that's what it doesn't make any sense. They held me at sword point, took everything, left me with the horse and the wagon, and told me to return. They told me to come back. They didn't even let me pass. They didn't even. Honestly, yes, they threatened my life, but they didn't put a hand on me.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't either, and I came back
Hmm.
as quick as I could.
Right. I'll go take a look. So I will call for Louis, the stable hand. Louis, Louis, quickly. I need you to saddle Azucar.
My lady, what about the Moros?
I guess you're going to have to go tell them you lost it. Or you come with me and we recover it.
Madam, there were a great deal of people. We will probably need help.
How many?
I don't know. There were at least 10 that surrounded me. Perhaps more in the hidden nearby. I couldn't tell.
Right. So, they've accosted you. They took our belongings. They took the package from the Moreaus. Did they seem to know that that package was in the shipment?
No, but they just took. I don't even know if they understood or cared. They just took everything.
I smell a rat.
I think we should go to. I really think we should go to the fort, and see if they have a few men to spare.
Is Louis still saddling my horse? Because I'm not walking through the mud up there if I don't have to.
Probably.
And of
Yes.
course, he gets a tip because he's a good lad. Right. Well, park the wagon. Come along.
All right, and he accompanies you. And we're going to be moving now.
He walking. I'm riding.
Well, are you going to
One
let him
didn't deep
bring?
shit.
Is he going to take the wagon, or is he going to have to leave the wagon there and then just follow
He's
on
going to
foot?
leave the wagon. He's going to walk his little ass up there. That's his penance for losing the shipment.
All right. So, Leon, the house is, of course, abuzz with the proceedings that you would expect of a noble house with large holdings, wine fields, and servants, and, of course, children. You hear the
Ugh,
sounds of,
children.
oh, indeed, these sounds of workers going out, leaving the farm, moving into the fields to check everything over. You hear the sounds of the maids and the manservants moving about the house, cleaning, readying the rooms, cleaning up after the family's breakfast this morning. Now, did you choose to, you know, deign them with your presence, or what did you do that morning?
Well, upon waking, excuse me, upon waking, Leon roused Brigitte and Coquette and escorted them to the door, and then made his way down for breakfast. Very brief appearance, um, just long enough to get a bit of wine, a bit of bread, maybe just a bit of meat, something small, and then of course headed back to his guest quarters on the manor to work, and I put work in air quotes.
All right. So, as you're proceeding through your day, through all this noise, at some point, the and yeah, somebody's commenting on your lovely hair tonight, Michael. Uh, you you hear the sounds of the rapid approach before anything else. And within moments, you know somebody is on their way to your quarters. And are you?
Leon quickly jumps to his feet from his chase and picks up a paintbrush and starts slapping paint on a nearby canvas to appear to be working.
The door flies open, and in walks the lady of the house, Lady Moreau, and she is like, "Oh, good. I am glad to see that you're awake this morning. You've had a slightly. It's beginning to be a little bit tepid as far as your relationship with her within the house.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're wondering if she's beginning to maybe suspect a little bit of, your true motivations, but for the most part, you've managed to keep up your appearances with, you know, the lord of this
Um,
manor.
Noting that it's the lady that has come in to speak, Leon will kind of drop his guard a bit, and as he turns to her, he will kind of shake the robe loose off his shoulder a little. Oh, my lady, what can I do for you this wonderful day?
She seems nonplussed by your action, unless, of course, you would like to make some sort of roll with that.
Oh, I certainly would.
All right. Well, let's figure out. Hmm. Hmm. Let's go ahead and I'm thinking almost cunning in this moment. You're trying to get something over
Sure,
on her with that.
sure. I think that'd be a great one to use. I'm happy to use cunning. Leanna's a very cunning linguist, in fact, so
I
this will
was
work
going
well.
to make the joke and didn't.
Well, the question is, with that going forward, is there perhaps a focus that you feel is applicable in this situation?
You know, Leon does have cultural lore as a focus, but I don't think it's necessarily useful in this particular instance.
Not really. So let's go ahead.
Although I do have empathy under perception, and I don't think empathy would work in this case either. So
No,
let's just go with the straight roll.
empathy is more reading other people's emotions than manipulating them in this game
All
anyway.
right. Well, with my roll, not getting the focus, that's 15.
15. All right. What is your hope with your actions, with this toss off of the robe, this rearranging of your wardrobe, as it were?
Leon is attempting to make it look as if it's a casual, like the robe is just falling off of him, just maybe not secured properly, but also trying to lower the lady's guard a bit, maybe distract her from what appears to be some kind of mission that she's on.
She blushes, and her eyes dart to the hem of your robe briefly before turning halfway away from you.
Oh,
Uh, I really wish.
apologies, my lady. I thought I tied that tighter. My apologies.
I really wish that you would find something. I understand that the summers are warm here, but I really wish you would find something to better clothe yourself in here within the home.
Madame, the artistic process does not like to be bound.
And she blushes a little bit more. Monsieur Leon, what was I?
Yes, yes, my lady.
Tonight there is a gathering at Lady Cote and Lady Bennett's home.
Hmm.
My husband and I will be departing soon for this. And so I was coming to inform you that for the most part, my husband wishes that you. Uh, and she kind of loses herself in thought there for a moment before continuing. That you.
Leon will take the end of the paintbrush that has, the blunt end, the obviously not painted end, and kind of stick it to his lip. What does the lady wish?
The Lord would like you to, while we are away, you are essentially our staff, our chief staff will be coming with us, and you will be in charge. And she goes right back out the door.
That's got to be a sexy shoulder. Just saying.
In Enjoy the soiree, my lady. The house will be in good order, I promise you. And as the door shuts, he kind of tosses the paintbrush on the floor, um, and sheds the robe and just kind of stretches a little. Time to raid the cellar.
Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and say that the rest of our group, if you remember, you are on your way to this home. Uh, so we're going to say that as you arrive at the house, one second. As you arrive at the house, it seems that you're going to be walking in after the family has departed. So I would say you arrive to locate the young lady, and Leon, they're going to find you coming through the halls.
Oh, Leon is coming from the kitchen. Under his arm, he's got 2 bottles of an unknown vintage of wine. He's got a full wheel of cheese. There is a good loaf of bread. There's a number of vegetables sticking out. A long length of sausage. He is definitely taking advantage of his position in the home, so to speak.
Well, 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 why do I find myself completely unsurprised? Spit the garlic out of your mouth, love. We need to talk.
Oh, Lou, don't be upset. The sausage isn't for you. I know better.
I
Anyway,
hate to impose on our own agenda, but we also, in fact, have some matters to discuss.
Oh, we do we? What matters are those?
Good afternoon. We have been asked by the Chantry to locate the Moreau girl. She has not been attending her lessons.
Cerise, to remind everyone.
Oh, I knew it. Ilian doesn't use it.
Oh, the young Cerise, the young miss has not been attending her lessons. How interesting that a young woman would eschew her learning for possibly some mischief. Oh, quaint.
I'm sure you know nothing about that.
good
Anyway, is there someone
good
who can help us
afternoon, Mage
find her?
Ilian.
Ooh, what is your last name? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Vasquez.
Warmer than they have greeted anyone else. Adam Vasquez. Pleasure. Is there someone who can help us locate the child? Someone adult?
Well, it would
Oh.
appear it would appear that and Leon looks around the house in like in a feign of concern. It would appear that I am the only adult present. So
You
what
dropped
may
your
I do?
sausage.
It's fine where it is, my dear. It's not the first time it's been on the floor.
Amara kind of scoffs and restrains herself from making a comment about the sausage.
I understand.
I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help. I'll put these things down. Yes. Is anyone hungry? We could maybe have a bite before we.
No.
No.
Even in the midst of all this, I will say that there are members of the staff moving through the room as well. That
I'm
I
gonna
find-
page one. I'm gonna flag one down that looks like they have a brain. Just pardon. Excuse me.
a young maid comes over. Yes, mum.
I am looking for the Lord or Lady Moreau. I had a package for them, and my man, and she hikes her thumb towards the dude that's like got shit up to his knees from slogging through the mud on the way up here, was attacked, and everything on the shipment, including that package, was stolen.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I
The
need guardsmen.
I don't think she's looking quite flustered. The lady and lord have departed. They are not here right now. They went to Lady Cote's place for the festivities there this evening. Um,
But the lady
They
did leave me in charge.
and she
Leon
kind
does
of
Lou.
like the maid's eyes dart to the floor when you say this.
Leon ignores Monsieur Hubert, and the children go with them.
No, no. Uh, uh, Eli and Eloy are around somewhere.
And
Lady Cerise, and she's kind of looking back and forth at the group here. Lady Cerise, as near as I know, went to the chantry.
Interesting.
did you say that there were bandits?
Yeah, and I'm gonna info dump Ilian with what happened to the shipment.
Leon looks like they have a migraine.
Leon has broken a hunk of bread off and is just chewing on it while everyone has their discussions. So, if I'm hearing properly, it sounds as though the Chantry has lost yet another young woman?
Well, I don't know if I would put it in quite those terms, says Amara.
I beg to think that the young woman lost her way to the chantry, or the events of this morning and the missing girl are related, which is a more
GM,
pressing matter.
did you say the girl had been missing for a couple days?
No, she has, and this would be something Leon is aware of. She has been at the home every evening, at the dinner table eating.
She's
She
going
hasn't
somewhere.
been to the chantry in a couple days, correct?
That is correct.
Oh my god, I have more important things to do than chase down a teenager.
The maid this curtsies and says, "If that is all," and begins to depart.
Unless anybody objects, Lou will just nod to the maid.
Hmm.
All right.
Thank you, Sandra. That will be all.
Yes, sir, and just pretty much busies herself away again.
Sandra's wonderful. She makes this chowder that is to die for.
Just a brief question, Monsieur Hubert. If the Lord and Lady come back and their eldest child is missing and you've been put in charge, who will be responsible for the loss of the child?
Well, I think that would all depend on if the child was missing before or after I took charge.
She's missing now and you're in charge.
But if she
Unfortunately,
hasn't
Angelina is
been going-
correct.
If she has not been attending her chantry classes in the last few days, then her disappearance was before my reign as head of the household.
Has she
But-
been present at meals?
I wouldn't know. I don't typically eat with the family.
Flags down another servant.
But, Leon, how do you think the Lord and Lady are going to perceive their daughter missing while you're in charge?
Lou, I understand. We will do our best to find the girl.
Oh my god, go get clothes on.
I'm simply giving our magician friend a
There's
bit
no
of the
one who
what
can-
for.
There's no one around who can hear you, love. We all know that you're full of shit, so go get dressed. We have a child to find.
Fine. And Leon makes an effort to push off the food in his hands onto Ilian.
Oh, Ilian lets them fall.
And Leon turns to walk away and he's, Sandra, there's a mess.
Amara sighs and starts to pick up the things. And hands them to Sandra, who comes
Yes,
back. much
Sandra comes
relieved.
back, retrieves them from you, and gives you a knowing glance of, "Oh God, I'm sorry you had to deal with that."
Amara gives a understanding nod and a kind of a wry smile of, "Look at the position we're in. Isn't the world funny?"
Ilian is smiling more than they usually do, but it's not a friendly smile.
Lou feels that in her soul and just nods to you.
Leon comes back a short time later, um, wearing what appears to be some relatively common garb. It is slightly colorful, but you can see there is a hint of armor underneath some of the loose folds of clothing.
I'm not outfitted for brigands. I need to grab my armor from my flat.
All right. As the group of you begin to make your way outside, everyone just roll a d6 and let me know who gets the highest.
Not me.
6.
Not me.
6.
All right. So, Luvia. Was somebody else? Did y'all all roll ones?
I rolled a 1.
One.
Awesome. I do want to say really quick, thank you so much, Kaylee, for the purchase of a stunt point for Rev. Rev, you've got your first stunt point purchased from
Thank you.
Kaylee.
Thank you.
It will come up. Don't worry. We will. It will be important. So, but for Luvia, as you exit the building, Eli careens directly into you, and pretty much bounces off of you. Eli is this young, almost waif of a noble child, and
We've met.
lands in front of you, looks up at you, and is like looking around the whole group.
Come here a minute.
There's something that flashes across their face. Does anybody want to make a empathy roll?
Oh, yes, because I'm looking right in his face.
I would like to make a roll.
Little shit.
If I don't have empathy, what kind of role is it?
For empathy, let me pull up the skill list really quick. I'm pretty sure it is perception. Yeah, perception.
Perception. Yep.
It's perception, yeah.
This is
excellent.
actually going to be a challenging roll because this kid is well versed in hiding their emotions.
15.
Not that it matters.
9.
I was going to say.
I'm very perceptive.
have,
It's one of my bennies. I'm perceptive and
have-
agile.
I'm too mad about the magician
19.
comment. I'm busy.
Wow.
Just to be clear, the focus gives you an additional point or 2 points.
Additional point.
Additional points. 18. Sorry.
All right, so that puts you all, those of you who got higher than a 13, there is a look of recognition beyond that of having ran into this group before. More of, oh crap, the jig's up.
Well, Eli. It's the second time we've had to come face to face. You promised you would behave. She's going to help him up and kind of come down to his level.
What? Hi. I'm so happy. Hey, what's that over there? And tries briefly to
No.
distract you and tries to take off running. If you want to do a quick dexterity check on that, it's going to be
Oh,
an
yes.
easy. Not so 9 on dexterity.
I've got 11 before I add my skill, so 11, 15.
Yeah. You just reach out and grab them before they can
Schwink.
even start to run.
This would also be the second time I've had to grab you by the seat of your trousers.
It's not
not a
me.
good look.
It's not my fault.
Whose fault is it?
No, nobody's.
Well, then, unfortunately, it looks like you're going to be the one to take the blame.
All right, it's all Cerese's idea. It was my fault. I'm so sorry. I didn't.
And how did she come up with this idea?
What do you mean?
Did she? Was it something that she said? Was it something you were planning together?
Oh no. She just told us not to say anything.
Not to say anything about what.
Lou does that too.
I'm not going to make y'all roll like any form of manipulation against a child.
I want to manipulate a child.
Okay, well then you can
Scare a
roll for it if
kid.
you want.
No, no, no. We're gonna
You-
bully this child.
Do you understand how much trouble your sister is going to be in if you don't tell me everything?
Okay, well,
And they're going to blame you.
all right. Well, look, she's safe. Okay. She
Eli,
she just
We
has-
didn't tell your parents about the ruins. The least you can do is tell me the truth so we can make sure your sister's okay.
You're not gonna-
Leon is standing behind Lou and like pointing at the kid and doing one of these.
Amara is like is behind Lou, and you're like behind the kid, right? Amara goes,
And Ilian is standing off to the side. However, because they are a little petty, they do move their mage staff to be deeply visible, but like in the center of the kid's vision.
Oh,
No spell casting, no nothing, just moving the staff.
Lou's fucking oblivious to all this shit going on
Mhm,
behind
mhm.
her.
there's essentially a Three Stooges routine going on behind Lou right now.
I
On brand.
promised you I would not tell your mother and father, and I have not. I kept my word.
Okay, but I get to stay completely out of it, and you don't bring up anything to mom and dad. That's the deal.
Tell me the truth, and we have a deal.
Okay. She's meeting someone named Miniato.
Where?
The fort.
I don't suppose you would happen to know if that's a bandit.
Why would she be meeting a bandit?
Well, she might not know
No,
he's
she
a bandit.
just
Okay,
has-
let me describe a bandit to you, and she'll use this description of somebody who has the typical attitude of a bandit, a little dangerous boy, a little wild, you know, that sort of thing. Does that seem to fit the bill?
I don't think so. He has a sword.
Okay. Well, you've done a good job. You've told us everything I needed to know. So you go by and you tell Madame Corinne that you and your sister, Eloy, may have your special treats. I have them under the counter.
Okay, thanks. Bye and run. The kid takes off running it this time.
I would. Lou turns around. Are they all straight faced now?
"Oh yeah,
I've been straight faced
For
the
sure.
whole time.
For sure.
I'm just
Also-
hanging out with the staff.
John, how do you spell that name that
Yeah.
Eli said?"
So this is gonna be Miniato is Mineato.
Mignato, awesome, thank you.
And one more time, what was the daughter's name?
Cerise?
Cerise.
Cerise, thank you. I'm actually trying to take notes.
How old is Cerise? I mean, as you said before, I just don't feel like digging at the moment.
Young teenager. So and of course I'm ancient. So 16 is young to me.
16 is young.
Hmm.
Maybe. Did
Well-
that name sound familiar to any of us?
Uh,
Would it?
I am going to say not really. Maybe in passing, but I am going to. If you want to test on this,
Yeah.
I am.
You
going
know I
to
have my ears to the
have
ground.
To say, because most of
Something
the
else.
lores and knowledges are covered under cunning. We're going to go
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
I should have done. I forgot about communication. Next time you seduce or you're trying to do that with somebody, remind me it's communication.
All right.
Yes,
Uh,
I
my
got
apologies.
a 14.
I have a 13.
I have a 15.
There we go. This would have been like I said, this was going to be a hard test, which is a 15.
10,
Ew.
16, 19.
Not Jesus. What did you do to those dice?
You're having
These
a
are
heck
just-
of a night, dude.
These are just like regular like wizards D6 like
Get it?
And
Yeah.
don't the dragon die do something if they match one of the dice you rolled?
Yes, they do. If two of your dice match, your dragon dice becomes a number of stunt points. Did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
It sure did. I rolled. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Evie. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's if you're odd one and one of the other ones. So my dragon die is the white one. So if that one's the same as one of the two red ones, then you're in the stunt point.
I got two sixes, one on the dragon die, one on the regular die.
Nice.
All right. Let me see if I can find the listing of stunt points for roleplay, which I think is on the reference page.
Yeah, and I think Stevie has the cards as well, and it's on the cards.
Roleplay stunts. I'm gonna track that right there. So 6 stunt points. Let me see.
Wow.
Yeah. Ooh, you can do a whole lot of things with 6 points.
Yeah, these are kind of really useful in certain situations. Let me say.
There's no one I really want to. We're not, or more so, putting our heads together.
Yeah, I was looking to see if maybe any of the explorations might work in this situation. This is one of those things I'm really excited about. Fantasy Age 2nd Edition getting released here very soon, and maybe they'll have even more stunts in that book.
Ooh.
Which would be awesome.
It would.
For the audience, what are stunt points?
For the audience.
Stunt points. Yeah, I was going to say stunt points are something that we use to have effects when things happen in combat, role playing. If we're out exploring the world, you can use them to have, if Amara had 6 stunt points for combat and we were fighting, she could choose to use those to issue a lethal blow, which is 5 stunt points, and then another effect on top of that, which means it makes dynamic situations in your combat and role playing.
That was great exposition. Thank you.
I'm going to let you bank those for the moment, because I think actually that those stunt points might actually have a better effect. And being a GM, I'm going to make this call. Hang on to them for just a moment, unless you think there was something here that for either of your characters in either exploration or role playing that you think would be really good.
Not at this point.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I only have the one that Kaylee gave me, so I'm just gonna hang on to it a moment.
So the group of you, then I guess, what are you going to do? Saddle up and head towards the fort, or
did I think it would have been
the information.
Stevie's the only one that
Oh, I think also Michael got a good roll. You got like a 19 or something.
No, I got a 19, but my doubles were on the standard die and not my dragon die. So
it's as far as I know, it's any dice if you roll double. It's just that it's the stunt dice that that's the actual point value that you get to keep. For stunts.
So I got
the number on your dragon die.
Yeah, no, I rolled. Okay, then I also have 6 points too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That I will also bank.
So the information that you know, and this would make sense for Amara to know this. There was a discussion of the current troop holdings at the local fort. And these are soldiers. Amongst the number of soldiers that are currently at the fort, this is one of the individuals listed.
Right. Minato. I know that name. I believe he's with the troops up at the fort. He's a soldier.
So just to be very clear,
And
we were sent by the Chantry, fetch a girl who is skipping school, see a boy.
So you can
Here's a way.
change your title to truant officer then.
And
Funny.
Leon, you would have also gotten this information, just so you know.
I have a feeling Leon might know of Minato from maybe the taverns, perhaps some after hours gatherings, other art lovers, you know.
I will say in your case that you know him from the tavern. If you one of the few times that you visited there, a young boy, teenager, curly, dark hair, kind of that innocence to him, and the rest of the soldiers usually egging him on as they do. Oh, hey, try this ale or whatever.
Oh, he is a handsome young fellow. Cerise. Good job, lass.
Let's just get there before any danger befalls either of them.
So
You say
fine.
danger, I say fun.
So this ragtag little motley crew, I guess, begins making their way towards the fort. Each with your own purpose, your own thing that you are going to investigate.
At some point going up the road, I want to whisper, lean over to Ilian, as long as they are okay with me leaning into their
Yeah.
space.
Hmm.
I would like to have you round mine for tea. Just you.
That would be lovely. I am unsure if I will be allowed to attend without my lovely chaperone.
It's okay.
I will.
She can stay in the hall.
Leon, like, cracks a little smile there. That would be my honor, Lou.
You find yourself on this road, traveling through the countryside of, northern Orlais. Not too much else on your mind for the moment except a wayward young lady who has likely fallen in love. That is until at the top of one of the hills that you crest on this road. There is a figure on a horse. A gray stallion stands in the distance with a man in armor, his helm and his mask glinting gold in the light, and a falcon at his wrist. Really quick, does anybody have culture or heraldry in their lores?
Yes, I have. Leon has cultural lore.
Just
Go ahead and make
arcane for
Let's
me.
go ahead and make a roll with that.
All right. Now that we've talked about these dice doing well, now they will not. And I'm not wrong. 5, 6, 7, 8.
All you gotta get past is that
That's
9.
I was gonna say it's 12 with the focus point, so that's still not too bad, but so 12.
Oh.
You recognize the heraldry and the mask. Whoever this individual is, they belong to the house of the Valmontaines. And that is not the family that currently rules these lands. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go ahead and step away, and we'll be back in 10 minutes, everyone. We hope that you also are able to come join us. We'll see y'all back here in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere, and let's find out together who is ahead of them on the road. See y'all soon. And hi, we're back. We're back for Dragon Age. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We've had pretty good numbers out there for, when you think the average Twitch channel is 2 people in an audience, having all of you here tonight is wonderful. Thank you all for coming. So
And
that
staying.
said, yeah, and
I
staying.
know.
But with that said, we have found ourselves now with our team on the road looking into the disappearance of a young lady from the House of Moro, Cerise, who it seems has gone to the local fort chasing young love. But on our way there, we have now come across a figure, an imposing figure in armor on horseback and wearing the helm of one of the rival dukes. You know, in Orlais, which is where our characters find ourselves, all the noble families, for official and in war, wear masks that hide their faces. And this mask is of a gold variety. The features exaggerated. Uh, a large stern nose, a beard that tapers at the end of the chin.
Hmm.
And
John,
if you could, John, could you repeat the name of the family that this gentleman was with?
I believe this is the Montaigne.
Montaigne. Thank you.
John,
Um,
would I
Yes.
know the appropriate, like with my background, the appropriate way for a civilian to address like somebody? I know the social etiquette in this situation.
At this point, that is going
Grew
to.
up as a noble, grew up on like learning the game.
I would say yes, normally, but in this situation, you're not exactly certain what the station is of this individual, other than them being under another noble house.
And Leon was unable to determine the position in the house, just what house they were with.
Yes.
Okay.
can Amara see if they have the heraldry in one hand? Do they have a weapon in the other?
All right. So, they have a falcon at the wrist. They didn't have a heraldry, so falcon at the
Oh,
wrist.
okay, gotcha.
Well, Leon will, under his breath, oh, it looks like the Montaignes have made an appearance.
Right.
I'm gonna pull my horse a little bit ahead and hail and well met.
I'm riding up immediately behind and like starting to get like close to Ilian.
Whoever this is does not respond.
I reach my hand out to like touch Ilian's shoulder and like you feel like a slight tug back.
I don't move, but I don't advance anymore.
Hmm.
I'm going to casually just make sure that my bow is loose enough to draw should I need to. I'm not pulling it, just make sure that it's not wedged down securely so I can pull it out if I need to.
All right. And I hear that in chat there might be my voice might be a little bit low. I have turned the volume up. Let me know if I need to turn it up further. The seeing the group of you, and also if you said you pull your bow, did anyone else pull their weapon?
I didn't pull it, I
Okay.
loosened it so I could pull it quickly.
Okay.
My
Go ahead.
my staff is like kind of resting against like my. It's in my hand, but I'm not like waving it. I'm just holding it.
My
Leon's
hand's
holding
on my
on.
shoulder. Sorry.
Leon's no, you're Stevie. Stevie, go ahead. I interrupted you.
No. Amara's hand is on her sword hilt, but has not drawn it.
And Leon's got one hand on his reins, and the other hand he's got again a hunk of bread that he's brought with him. He's just kind of munching.
Fucker.
The soldier looks at the group of you and then kind of lifts their wrist with the falcon, who takes off with a cry. and heads off into the sky, flying off into the east. Then reaches down and grabs what appears to be a horn at their side.
Oh, we're just passing through. You don't have to.
Raises it to their lips and blows.
Yep. Yep.
John, what's the horn sound like?
That deep
Horny?
echoing horn, like a ram's horn kind of sound. Yes, yes. Wah ha ha ha! I walked into that one.
I was thinking like a vuvuzela that are. Brrrr.
God, I hate those things.
He then almost nonchalantly turns his horse and begins to ride
Towards us or away from us?
away from you. And,
Sir, you were addressed.
and over the hill, coming up past him, are 3 war dogs.
Excellent. Excellent.
You're on horseback. If you wish to try and flee, you're more than welcome to, but I think this is a great opportunity to go ahead and roll some initiative.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right. So, does anybody need me to go ahead and walk them through the initiative a little bit for this system?
I think that would be a great learning opportunity for the audience.
Yeah, the audience needs it. I've got this. I studied.
Mhm.
I learned, but the audience would be so grateful, I bet.
The audience
They
would love
might.
this, I
They
think, John.
might. All right. So, in the wonderful world of Dragon Age, which is a game based on the Fantasy Age system, you are going to need to roll 3d6 and then add your dexterity. If you have a specialization in initiative, that will also add to it.
Okay.
I got
18.
a 16. 16 for me.
16. All right.
Um,
Remember what
I
you.
also got a 16.
Nice.
I
I
got-
believe.
Go ahead.
I was looking to see. I think that as far as ties go, I think y'all can. We can work that out between the two of you. The dogs are going to be going at a 12.
Okay.
Leon got 16, and I rolled doubles on my 5s again.
Yeah, I rolled doubles on mine too, so I have 6, 7 stunt points stored up at the moment.
That'll be 9 stunt points for me. If we're keeping the 6 from earlier.
I'm going to let you keep the 6 from earlier. I was going to mention if anybody wanted to use the opportunity, there's actually one, I think it's 3 points, that lets you increase your initiative by 3.
I don't have any.
Fine, I go in at 18, I'm fine.
All right.
I think I'll use that. I think Leon will use that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's under the exploration tab that in a situation of exploration, you're essentially going to be aware enough that when something happens, you're able to act with quicker initiative. So that will be 3 stunt points off. Now, if you use them in this moment, I will say that the rest from prior will not carry over, but if you have new stunt points, they will.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll be using the 3 I have in this moment, so that will blow the rest of my stunt points, correct?
Yes.
Keep my 3, the 6 go bye-bye, and yeah, okay.
All right. So, starting at the top of initiative, does anyone besides Rev have 18 or better? All right, Rev, you are acting first.
Okay. I am going to use, where's it go? Lightning attack, which lets me make a second attack against the same enemy or one different enemy within range and sight. So I'm going to shoot 2 of the dogs. And then I'm going to use Mighty Blow to hopefully inflict extra damage, which will eat all my stun points.
Nice. All right, let's go for it.
Where is my attack on that? There we go. 5, 10, 11, 15 for 1.
And
That
that
hits.
is definitely going to hit.
And 13 for the second one.
All right. And the way I run is meet or beat. You actually meet its defense, so you do hit.
Okay, so I'll do the damage individually for them. So it's going to be 2d6 plus 3 on 1. 13 on 1.
All right. 13.
And yeah, 13 on one dog and 4, 4, 8. That's 11 on the other.
Dang,
All right.
broken hit.
Both arrows fly out rapidly, striking both the dogs. Now, more than likely, this is your major action. Is there a minor action you were going to be taking?
No, I'm going to stay where I'm at the moment.
All right. So with the 18, that is where we begin this combat as two of the dogs are struck, and although that causes the two of them that are struck to slow down, they are still running at your group. One, however, is now breaking out into the lead, and we're going to go next in initiative. So 17, 16. Anybody with 16?
Ilian and I.
All right. Would one of you, I'll let you two work that out, whoever's going to go first.
Sorry, I had 18, John.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
no, that's okay.
let's go ahead and get
I
that
think-
18 in.
Rev, you had 19, right?
I had 18.
Yeah, y'all
Oh,
both
okay.
had 18.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry
I
about
thought
that.
she had 19. That's okay. It's going to be a distance strike with the bow. Leon will pull his longbow from across his back and fire an arrow as the action.
All right. Now, how many did you have any stunt points left over at this point?
I used the 3 to increase my initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost the 6 I had left, if I recall. So I don't have any stunt points
All
left
right.
at this moment.
There we go. So let's go ahead and get that attack in. Do you want to do it as an all-out attack? What that would do is give you a +1 to your damage, but it would lower your defense by 1.
Yes, I will take an all-out attack.
All right.
Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good to go. Let's see, that's 10, 7, 8 on this. Again, the dice are now starting to fail me. Yeah. It's only going to be an 11.
All right. The arrow strikes the ground in front of this hound as it begins to charge you. It will be on you at the end, or it'll be on you its next action. This action, it will not be within range for a melee attack. But going on, we have our 2 players at 16 before these hounds do go.
I think Amara would try to charge forward. If I use minor action, my movement, would I be able to get within melee distance of the dog that's out front?
If you do a charge. So a charge lets you move up to half your speed in yards and
Oh,
make
hell yeah, I'm gonna charge.
and we're going to be using the horse's speed for that.
Yes. So I'm gonna charge and then
And you'll gain a +1 on that melee attack.
perfect. So I roll 3d6 and add my strength, right?
Yep.
All right. And I'd like to use 4 of my. Oh wait, is there a dog next to that dog?
There will be one behind it. There's
So
the
could I
dog
be-
out in the lead, and the 2 that are following it have fallen behind.
Okay. Okay, so not adjacent to me. That's okay. Then I will. Can I use lightning attack with a melee attack?
I believe so. That is it's an attack stunt, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
There's no differentiating with that.
So I'm gonna charge and spend 3 points to do a lightning attack.
Actually, wait 1 second. You must have a loaded missile weapon to make a ranged attack. Oh, yeah, to make a ranged attack. But this is a melee attack. Yeah, sorry. Just had to
Oh,
make
good.
sure the way it's written up.
Okay, so here's the first attack against the lead dog. +1 for the charge. That's only 11.
It does not strike. It again definitely moves out of the way as your blade just slashes through the air where you would have sworn its head was.
All right, second attack against this puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's. Oh wait. Okay. That's a 13.
13 hits.
Hell yeah. All right. So that is swinging out with my bastard sword. Only doing 4 points of damage, and I'd like to spend 2 more stunt points to threaten.
All right. Let's see. Threaten pose. Challenging an opponent within 10 yards of you. You must make an opposed test with your strength intimidate versus its willpower. If you win, they must attack you in some way on their next turn.
Trying to draw aggro here.
All right. So you're doing it specifically to that dog.
To the lead dog, the dog out front.
All right. Let me look at its stats there. Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Okay, I got a 12.
And it only got a 10. So it will have to attack you on the next round.
Haha.
All right. So, Illian.
Is that what Amara says?
Oh. No, Amara kind of like, she makes a stern face and she says, "Back! Get back!" And tries to draw the attention.
Now, obviously you have charged. That is a major action. You still technically have a minor action left over. You can always do one major and one minor or two minor actions. Do you want... I would actually recommend getting your guard up.
Yeah, let's do guard up. Add +1 or +2 to your defense. Chances you make given the places for the remainder of the current round. Yeah, I'll do a +1 to my defense, or I'll do +1 to my defense.
All right, there we go. So that does mean, Illian, you're going to be the last one to act this round.
Yeah, and I get to do magic about it. How hurt is the lead dog?
At this point, it's only taken 4 points of damage, so it doesn't look terribly wounded.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do an arcane. Actually, quick question. With my spell wisp, it says the cast time is 1 minute, so I would have had to do that before we entered combat to like have the spell. It's fine. Then I would like to arcane bolt about it. Major action, 2 mana points. It's a dexterity acrobatics versus my spell power. And my spell power is 14.
It is not going to succeed. It rolled a whopping 9.
Nice.
And oh shit, no, that's not right. Hold on. Then it's within 30 yards, 2d6 damage with bonus from the dragon. So that is roll the dragon dice and the other dice, and okay, so that would be 8,
So,
11 points of damage, maybe.
Yeah, so it should be 2d6 and then whatever your dragon dice was on your roll.
Oh, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confused. Whatever it was on my initiative roll, or
No,
this
no, on
roll?
your actually, yeah. Go. So it should actually be all 3 dice at that point, correct?
Okay, I can just re-roll. That's fine.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, I got 2 5s.
Unfortunately, on damage dice, the stunts don't go off. Sorry.
Not to you, just to the rules. That is fine. The dragon dice was a 5. I got a 13. It's 18.
Wow, 18 damage?
Because I got two
Nice.
5s and a 3. My dragon was 5.
There we go.
Wait, no. No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's 13. That's better.
Alright,
That
so
seems less
13 points
aggressive.
damage plus the 4 from from Stevie's hit. You watch as this bolt of energy, this curves around, shooting out from the staff, striking this dog in the body. The smell of, burning flesh for a brief moment fills the air, and that dog is actually going to turn tail and take off running. You have one more minor action that you can do. Is there anything you want to go ahead and do with that?
I'm just gonna back up a bit. Just, I'm just gonna, maybe get behind everyone.
All right. So,
I'm squishy.
the two dogs that have not left the combat but are wounded are going to be attacking.
Oh, and the one I threatened left. Oh, that's
Actually, I guess
Sorry.
technically, by the wording of your stunt, it can't leave. Do you,
yay.
I'm sorry. So it actually has to attack. Let's get that out of the way. Is
Yeah, it must
a
have, yeah.
11 going to hit you?
It does not hit my defense. No.
All right. So that one does not hit, but you're going to need to go ahead and make some rolls here in just one moment. I'm going to give you, you need to make, I think it's going to have to be I think it's going to be a cunning, maybe. Go ahead and give me a cunning roll.
Cunning roll, you got it.
Yep.
Oh, I got doubles. Would this generate stunt points?
Yes, it would. This is going to be something in the area of something attacking you. Do you have any stunts that can go off based off that you can think of right this moment?
So, so I got 3 stunt points, and can I use 2 to take a defensive stance?
Absolutely.
So that gives me a +3 to my defense right now.
All right. One of the dogs snaps at your horse. And you said you have a shield?
I do have a shield.
You're able to quickly move the shield in between this dog that's snapping at your horse's neck and place it there in front of it. And this way you're able to bolster your horses. But the other dog is going to be leaping to try to attack you.
Gotcha.
Rude.
Bouncy boy.
Bad dog, no biscuit.
Does a 14 hit you?
Sure don't.
Wow, nice. Okay, so the other dog also jumps through the air, kind of brushing up against your armor, snapping jaws right past your head in the air. You hear the teeth clacking and drool falling on you. And it just kind of brushes off you and falls to the ground. And all of you also see this. Top of initiative. So actually, technically, Rev and Michael. Who wants to go first?
I think we have the same decks, right?
I believe so, but I was just going to let you two work it out. If one of you wants to
okay.
take the action first.
Feel free, Rev.
Yeah, I'll just shoot again at one of the dogs. I don't have any points at the moment unless I roll them right now, so. Any stunt points? Get back here. 6, 5, 11, 12, 13. Where's my bow? 13 and 4, 17. Hits him. Can't hear you.
Oh, 17 hits, definitely.
Okay. Be far less damage this time. 8 points. 5 and 3. Yeah. And then I'm going to fire and move my horse so that it's blocking the dog charging and jumping Ilian.
All right. And how much damage was that total?
Oh god. 8 points.
8 points. That dog As the arrow hits, you hear that yelp, but it's that almost guttural from this large animal as it falls to the ground and ceases to be. And then Michael. Oh, I'm sorry, Rev. Your minor action.
Was to move my horse
Okay,
so that the other dog
There we
is
go.
blocked from jumping Ilian.
got it. Thank you very much. All right, Michael.
Yeah, we're gonna do an all-out attack.
All right. So +1 dex, -1 defense, but you might not need it.
That's what I'm hoping. Ooh, double sixes. A 3 on the dragon die. So that's 12 to 15.
Yep, with 3 stunt points.
Yeah, 19, and then I've got 3 stunt points to use.
So it hits on the initial attack. Do you want to use those stunt points to increase the attack, or are you going to use it for something else?
That's what I'm about to find out. I'm looking at the stunt points right now, John. Give me just a second.
No problem. There is a heck of a list.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It is when death is on.
We'll
the line.
do Indeed. We'll do a mighty blow.
Mighty blow. All right. And so for the mighty blow, you would inflict an extra d6 points of damage. Nice.
So for the bow, that is going to be, where'd it go? 2d6 plus 3. 11.
All right. You strike that dog, and it lands squarely in its neck, and you watch as it also falls to the side. The last dog yelps and whines as it runs off over the hill, chasing after its master.
Amara turns the horse around and looks back at the assembled party and says, "Is everyone all right? Did anyone get injured?"
A scratch.
I'm fine, thank you.
Just my pride with the first arrow, but I redeemed myself.
Maybe if you hadn't
also-
been holding the bread, you could have shot more accurately. Monsieur Hubert.
I am more apt to take shooting lessons from someone who knows how to shoot.
Maybe you should have dropped the bread so you could have shot more accurately. And she's holding her bow as she puts it away.
Also, the bread is very much on the ground. I do want it.
And thank you, Tentacle Greg, for the stunt point that you just redeemed for the group. We will go ahead and I will let y'all keep that. Because it's an audience purchase, stunt points for that do get to roll over.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. Thank you, Greg.
Let's see.
Do we
Um,
see which way the person went?
They began to ride north, and you're not certain from there. Do you want to try to track them, or are you going to continue to the fort?
Continue to the, or Amara's gonna say, we should continue on to the fort. If there's Montaigne nonsense being tied into this, we don't want a couple of teenagers involved in it.
I agree. Very wise. We should carry on with what we were about. And we also don't want to start a war. Well, any more than there already is, I suppose.
Hard to keep track of how many there are right now.
Just like your day calendar, it's fully booked. And Amara is going to keep going.
What?
I don't know. Amara's trying.
Did she say it to me?
She just said it out loud.
Okay. It's like I drive by there.
And as you steer your horse like around, like as Lou turns her horse and you turns, you get just, and she'll lean over and go, was that meant to be witty?
I mean,
She's trying. She's trying, my dears.
she like stutters, like, never mind. Never
Templar
mind.
and training Pallier, would you mind leading the way?
We'll work on your banter. Don't worry, Pat. We'll work on your banter.
I don't mind at all, Mage Toussaint. And she starts riding forward.
Leon rides up next to Lou briefly and kind of just leans over. She does have the cutest blush, though.
As you
Are, too.
proceed along the road, you do begin to hear the sounds of the nearby river, memories flooding you for a moment. But cresting the hill up ahead, you see a vale down below, and in it is a large fort. The central building in it was probably once a farmstead here, but a makeshift wall has been constructed around it, about 20 feet tall, lodgepole pine, perhaps something brought down from the mountains, and not too impressive. A couple palisades, a walkway to allow archers to shoot over it, and roughly about 20 to 30 people manning this location. Are y'all hurrying your way there? What are y'all going to be doing?
Just to be, there's no like Montaigne flag flying over.
No, in fact, you do not see any flags representing them. In fact, the same flag, the Du Chalon's flag, is still flying here.
Okay. Seeing the flag flying, Amara's gonna continue at like a trot, and she's gonna like keep her eyes on the sides in case anything comes out.
For the most part, you don't see any more danger as you begin to approach. All the soldiers here are dressed in an assortment of leather armor. Just has almost somewhat of a makeshift look to it, but they all also are wearing the mask of the Du Chalon family, which is a half mask, a descending eagle with the wings over the brow, the beak coming down over the nose, is on their faces. And each one of them, they're a very unusual mask in Montaigne because half the face is exposed.
Mm.
When we get close enough to like exchange words, Ilian will, soldier, where's your commanding officer?
The War Lady Vanaya is currently inside. Do you need to speak with her?
Immediately.
They send for, they, in the most nonchalant way, just call out for her. And after a few moments, the gates to this fort open up, and out strides a tall, brunette woman of elvish descent.
And remind me her name because I was so excited I forgot.
Vanaya. For those of y'all who are writing it down, my wonderful note takers, Vanaya.
She's in our people thing, I think.
She
Is
is.
she a captain? Was that? I'm sorry, I meant.
They referred to her as War Lady.
War Lady Vanaya. My name is Ilian Toussaint. I am a circle mage currently stationed in town. We are currently searching for the eldest daughter of, oh god, this isn't Ilian, this is Frankie.
Moreau.
Montefiore?
Cerise Moreau.
I do believe that she is within.
And on our way here we were
Accosted.
Accosted by what?
Montaigne
Montaigne.
soldier.
He sicked his dogs upon us.
You said it was Montaigne.
Yes.
And I lost my bread.
She gives you a glance up and down, somewhat dismissive. I'm gonna be nice, Michael. Go ahead and give me that give me that communication roll that you should have been making before.
Sure, let's see. Come on, dice. let's get back on track here, buddies.
Roll.
Oh, what was that again? What
Just
were you
love to
asking
watch him
for?
fail.
What were you asking for? A low roll?
It was.
Yeah, I think I can make that happen. That's 3, 7, 10 with my communication.
It's reflexive on your part, just because it's a woman. She just checked you out, but not quick enough, and so it's just not good enough as you try and adjust
Yeah.
yourself in your seat. Looks like maybe you were more adjusting your seat to do something else. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got it.
Oh, the temptation to help him in that adjustment. It's just a gentle, but I don't.
Oh.
There is also another matter, my lady.
What else?
They're down by the river. We had a shipment for the Moreaus that was going out to Port Dublay. As you may or may not be aware, some of even your messages get carried through my hands. My man was accosted. They didn't harm him, but they stole everything in the shipment. Bandits. On the way to the port. Well, the pier. It's not really a port.
Are you asking me to go and retrieve your things? Is your driver, perhaps? What has exactly happened to him?
Other than my foot in his ass, not much. He's unharmed. However, the Moreaus are at a soiree, so I cannot ask for any of their guards to go down there and investigate the area. If you have at least a couple of individuals you could spare, I would be greatly appreciated.
Lou, you didn't bother to ask me. And I told you I
For
was
very
in charge
good
of the house.
reason. For very good reason. And you also told me they weren't there. She did tell you. She told what's her name too, and you were like, they're not here.
Let's see.
I appreciate your informing me of the attack, possibly by the Valmontaines, or at least I'm guessing, scouting party. I can send soldiers at dawn to investigate that, and they, of course, can look into anything else involving your shipment. But at this point, it's only a few hours away from evening. It would be best if my forces stayed nearby, especially if the Montaigne are out and about. But if you wish, your young charge, this Mistress Cerise, she is within.
It's my understanding she's been, am I incorrect, May Gillian, in that she's been skipping her lessons at the Chantry?
Yes. Would the butthead would Prior Jerome be known to these people as well?
Yes, definitely, because Prior Jerome makes sure everybody knows them.
Yes. Prior Jerome insisted that I stop my research and fetch the young woman who's been skipping her lessons. Would it be possible that we have a conversation with her briefly?
Of course, and my apologies. She said that she was here and she would arrive every day with medical supplies and some food. Mainly just bandages. We thought that she was here for some other reason. But although she did spend quite a bit of time with one of our younger officers.
Well, that perfectly explains, as you know, I also do send supplies through the healer. That would explain why the healer's been needing more bandages lately. She's obviously been nicking them. Little scoundrel.
And really quick, Ted, thank you so much for coming in tonight. And yes, yay, 14 months subscribed. Thank you. We appreciate every subscription we get. It's not something we ever require here on the channel, but we do love our people who throw a little support our way.
Amara is going to. Are we far enough away from um, the Moreau estate that it looks like we might have to spend the night in this fort, or do we think there's still enough daylight for us to ride back?
And more than enough daylight to get back.
Okay, excellent. Then Mara's going to ride up and say, "We'll be brief."
In fact, while this is happening, you hear in the distance, somewhere within the veil, the sound of a horn.
That is what preceded the attack by the Montaigne dogs.
It would be wise for you to gather your charge and leave as soon as possible.
Yes, quite.
Everyone go ahead and give me, if you wish, if you feel that you've been interacting with her, an empathy roll.
Because I have astounding memory, empathy is under...
Perception.
Empathy is under perception.
Thank you.
16. Oh, excuse me, 17.
Big old 10.
All right, so
I did get a double. Sorry.
ooh,
Yeah. Me too.
Haven't had it.
you both got doubles.
I did, yeah, I got a 4
You
stunt
ca-
point.
oh
or, excuse me,
wow!
5
If
stunt
y'all
points
want to go
generated.
ahead and use some of the roleplay stunt points,
Got one.
Let's see.
Oh my god, Lou's gonna do it. She's gonna flirt with her.
Do it.
oh, okay.
What's 4 stunt points? Communication. I don't actually have seduction, but my communications. I have to roll, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Started talking to myself mostly. And
Does
12.
it say who I have to direct it at?
16 is mine.
The role is involving her, so I would think it would involve that, unless you can convince me otherwise. And you flirted with a 16? Is that
Yeah.
what you just said?
And it's more, since she's talking and we're talking to her, it's more in the gestures and the eye contact and looking her up and down sort of thing.
So I want to phrase it this way for your character. As you're talking with her, there's this moment
And I'm going
of
to lean
communication.
forward because Lou does wear the low cut. She leaned forward on her pommel to make sure that, her assets are on display.
The Vinaya, you pick up from her also with the empathy roll that there is something that she is worried about that she is not saying. But you put her at ease with your flirt, and she actually kind of smiles at you. Sideways glance your way as you are all talking. And who else wants to use some stunt points in this scene?
Me, please.
All right, what are we going to be doing with them?
Well, I got a whole one. And so that is it's Bon Mot. I'm not saying that right. I'm very sure. Bonmot.
We're going to let it go because I probably wouldn't say it any better.
Bon Mot. So I think what I'm trying to communicate to her is like, again, kind of Ilian just kind of pulls themselves up in that like
Ooh,
they
this-
haven't really pulled it out prior to this, so they like kind of affect a very noble posture. Just so I can understand, you're saying that you would like us to leave while an enemy force is gearing up to attack?
There's a moment, and let's go ahead and address the Bon Mot really quick. Because this is actually something that involves everyone at the table. You tag the perfect witty remark onto the end of your action, affecting all those who hear it much more deeply. If you can't think of one, the rest of the players and GMs quickly brainstorm options and choose among them. Words of your wit is likely to spread for good or ill. Does anybody want to add to that?
Ooh.
Let me be snarky. Gimme presents.
Also, we have
You want
from
adding into that is So you wanted to take this from on adding on to Alien, not Lou. So with the leaving, you want us to take a uh, uncombat trained 16-year-old out to where she might get attacked by dogs and a big burly warrior?
I can't think of really anything.
If you can, it's all good. I mean, I myself.
I do have one.
Oh well, let's hear it.
Oh, excellent.
I would just really like to understand your strategy better, War Lady.
Look,
Smiling without any teeth.
here's the reality of the situation, and there's almost a certain because of the situation, how you've interacted with her, a moment where like the mask falls away, and there's a little bit of a camaraderie or understanding. Duke Leopold de Chalons rode from the Vale earlier this morning with most of our forces. What you see here is all we have in this entire valley. I think you would be much safer if you left the fort if there's about to be an attack.
Thank you for your honesty. We will collect the girl and leave.
She nods. There's a very somber tone to that nod. If there's no attack, I will send riders in the morning to go and research whatever has happened to your cargo.
DM, do we get the vibe that our presence staying would assist them in any constructive way? Or
Right, that's what, yeah, Lou's like, dude, we gotta get the girl out of here, but, yeah.
There's 20 to 30 of them. Would the 4 of us make a difference?
So, as their, your understanding, so Duke Nicholas de Valmontaigne commands the largest force in this conflict. If it's just a scouting party, maybe. If there's something else coming, probably not. Now, that said, go ahead and make me a roll. Let's go ahead and let me look really quick, because this is going to be a lore roll. So, does anybody remember really quick for lore? I believe it is...
I've got cultural lore as under cunning.
Yep, so cunning.
All the lores are under cunning, yeah.
I don't think cultural is going to apply in this case. Actually, no, it will. Actually, it will.
I was just I was trying to just say that the lore was under cunning, so I.
Yeah, but when you said that, I was thinking about it, and yeah, actually, cultural will apply in this case.
Okay.
I got. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got an expert French translator on call, and it's bon mot. It means good word.
One more.
It's good word. Am I rolling this?
Everybody is more than welcome to roll. I'm one of those people that I do allow everybody a chance, if you're interacting in the scene, to roll. This will be, in this case, challenging. So it's going to need a 13 or higher.
Yeah, no, I didn't hit that.
I do not have cultural lore, so while they're rolling that, Lou's going to reach into her bag and pull out her flask of rum and offer it to Vinaya. It's the Ravani stuff, love. It's good. Take the edge off, if you know what I mean.
She'll take it immediately.
Leon got a 13 exactly with the cultural lore focus, and I got 2 3s on the reds, and I have a 3 on my dragon die.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Do you want to use any of those stunt points for anything additional?
I think.
Or do you want to hear what I have to say and then decide if you want to use those stunt points?
Yes, please.
All right. So, what you're picking up on, especially with it being the Valmontaigne forces, one of the ways that he has bolstered his army so rapidly is that he's bringing in foreign mercenaries. And so that is more. That's why in this case cultural, because at the same time, that is not done. That is inappropriate because the greater game of Orlais must be maintained. This is supposed to be a force involving the nobles. It's supposed to be their armies. It's not supposed to damage or destroy the land. And bringing in mercenaries would be a faux pas, as well as a risk that those forces would not observe the game.
Hmm.
Now, with that said, do you want to use those stunt points for anything?
I'm looking at the point. I'm looking at the role playing stunts right now, and I'm really not seeing a stunt that fits
That
the
sometimes
situation
happens.
we're in right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off.
Okay. Your while she's drinking from the flask, I'll also say this. So, Luvia, as she tosses back the drink, you pick up on facial tattoos on this elf.
Mm-hmm.
So that would also mean that they are a member of the Veil.
Mm-hmm. Are there any messages you would like carried? Personal messages.
She calls for one of her stewards and says, "Retrieve the satchel." The steward returns moments later with a leather-bound bag and hands it to her. Take these, hide them, if you can. These aren't really messages, but these are essentially the official ledgers that allow those who reside here to maintain their lands in face of the conflict.
She takes it from her. She's gonna put her hand over top of Anaya's, like hold her hand as she's taking the bag. I understand you expect to die here. Do you have anything you want me to carry to the Dalish?
She retrieves something from her pocket, and it is wrapped in linen, and hands it to you.
And I will stick it in an obvious pouch that would indicate it's personal to me. And then take the satchel.
Have they brought the kid?
She arrives, looking rather sheepish. The young soldier that that for Leon you remember from the tavern is accompanying her. Kind of chest out, head held back, realizing that the young lady might be in trouble. He's just basically escorting her out. She sees, she does see you, Ilian, and like there is a look of, oh crap, I really have been caught at this point, in her eyes.
Miss Moreau, if you would please accompany us, we are to take you home. And I kind of like have her hop up with me. If that's okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. All right.
Ilian.
Although I do, before she gets up, I was like, would you like to say goodbye to your friend?
That's what Lou was just gonna say. She was gonna say, would let her say goodbye.
She nods, and this is like, I'm sorry.
Not picking up the vibe, is she?
Not at all. I'm sorry.
Lou will lean
get you
down
in
to
trouble.
her. Lou will lean down to Cerise and go, there's about to be a battle. Kiss him like you mean it.
She looks at you, and it takes a moment, but then it dawns on her. And she leans in for that hard and fast and awkward kiss.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
And he looks lost after she releases. And at that brief moment of, oh, that just happened. And
As
then
the
sorry about that.
as the group that's okay. As the group turns their horses to ride away, Leon will lean down to Minato and simply like use the edge, the curve of his bow to tap Minato lightly in a sensitive spot and say, "My boy, I hope you got a chance to use this before it's too late."
He blushes, and lost in thought pretty much retreats back into the holdings.
Amara says, "Yes, excellent, kissing, wonderful, fine. Can we go?"
There's that blush again.
May
J-
Jillian, now I know what she needs. Now I know what she needs. And that's all Lou says.
You,
Leon does not respond.
Oh, it's not going to be me. I'm just saying.
so you all begin. She hops on the horse, and you all begin to ride. Probably with a little bit more, less hesitation, a little bit more speed. Yes.
If there is a chance, I don't want to interrupt the narrative. I do want to have a conversation with her.
I think absolutely. What is it that you're wanting to say to her?
So she's been my student, right?
Mm-hmm.
She knows. You know I'm from a noble family, right?
Oh yes.
You know what's expected of us.
Yes.
I'm not judging you. I'm letting you know you have to be careful.
I will. Honestly, if this conflict wasn't happening, would we even be having this conversation?
My dear, I do not care at all. If you love a common soldier, that's fine. Problem is you have to learn to hide it better. We are better at this than stealing linens, bandages to see a boy. Come on. You know how to play the game. You're better than this. Shouldn't have gotten caught.
That's fairly said. Yes.
Right. Better next time, okay?
She nods.
Right.
Is there
Move on.
anything else anyone else is going to do while you're on the road? That said, I do want to point out, Rev, your assistant that's been running behind you in the mud all this time.
I forgot that.
I wouldn't have brought him all the way up here. I would have left him back at the shop. I wouldn't have brought him out here.
Okay.
He's just fucking huffing and puffing.
Because I had to stop and get my armor. Sorry. And we kind of went over that. We kind of glossed that over. I would have left him at the shop.
I was gonna say he hands on his knees.
Lose my shit again, will ya? Lose my shit
It's
again.
like next to a dog corpse.
Okay,
like,
so
what the fuck happened?
He stops. But we'll go ahead and say that you make it back. You do begin to hear more horns in the valley as you travel back. And
We must alert the Chantry.
you arrive back at the holdings by
Think
that
they
evening.
know.
Is there any other actions anyone is going to take really quick?
I'm going to make sure that the package that Vinaya gave me is in my personal pack and shoved down towards the bottom. She said to hide it. I can't hide it right now, taking the girl home, but not everybody needs to see that I have it in my hands either. So I'm going to make sure that it is hidden.
All right. You arrive back to the holdings finally, of the Moreau family. As you arrive, Lady Moreau is there. I'm glad to see all of you. Cerise! When you were not back this evening, we were starting to get a little bit worried because, well, we began to hear the horns, and your father and I came home immediately. The maid said that the rest of this group here went looking for you. Thank you all for bringing her home. Thank you.
She had done wonderful work at my request of bringing bandages to the fort. So please don't chastise her too much. I had completely forgotten to send word, and I apologize.
And honestly, Lady Moreau, if she had come by and gotten them for me straight away, it wouldn't have taken all of this running around. So, and I would have been able to tell you where she was. My apologies as well. She just forgot to get them directly from me.
And again, as the household was under my my watch, I thought it pertinent that I accompany this band on their quest to find young Cerise.
He had to hold the bread.
Is
High
that
five.
She, the Lady Moreau looks at you and it's like leans in. Is that a euphemism or something?
For him,
No,
most-
ma'am, that is literally all he was good for.
Yes. But it is also a euphemism where he's concerned as well.
Well, I did my job, so I'm doing good.
You hear ever so often the sounds. The valley is alive with movement.
Mm,
If you wish, you may remain here. Cerise, I just... And she grabs her forehead briefly and sways.
Milady?
Your father went looking for you as well. He hasn't returned yet. But I do not think it sounds like it is wise to go out at this point. Unless any of you wish to return to the village, it would be wise for you to stay here.
Do you know which way your husband went?
I don't. We separated at the party. He went looking for her, and I came home with our servants. He does have one of the guards with him.
Okay. I think it would be best. I turn to Templar in training Pellier.
Yes, Mage Toussaint.
I agree that we should stay here for this evening. The Chantry will have heard the horns, and hopefully they will choose to follow the rules and not attack an uninvolved party.
Quite.
And it is with that
Also, I
that
do
all
not
of a
want to-
sudden there is the sound of breaking glass. Every
Excellent.
light in the home goes out suddenly, and you hear a sound of screams somewhere else in the home. And Mage Ilian,
Oop.
you
What?
feel a creeping up your spine. A creeping that tells you that there is something from beyond the veil here. And that is where we're going to end it for tonight. All right. Well, that brings us to our conclusion of our first game. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight and enjoying this moment with us. Fantasy Age is a wonderful system here from Green Ronin that we are very happy to be showcasing. Fantasy Age 2nd Edition is coming out. I'm plugging this because I love this system, and I think we all know right now everybody's perhaps interested in looking at a few other fantasy RPGs. So, hey, here's your opportunity. I hope that you'll come back and join us every week as we start up this new campaign. Other than that, I do want to say that tonight's music is directly featured from a Patreon account that we follow, Tabletop Audio. They are absolutely phenomenal. I hope you've enjoyed their music and the sounds that they provide. And go look at them. They actually have a website where it's premixed sounds that you can use without being a Patreon backer. But when you join their Patreon, you do get the opportunity to use the individual parts of the sound, such as only the sounds of a home, or only the sounds of the music, or only the sounds of people at a party. It's easily broken down, and it's a great plug and play thing. Other than that, we will also be using the Alchemy tabletop VTT. So that will be a wonderful way for us to showcase the battles when we get into some of the larger ones further down the road. Alchemy is amazing. It lets me use animated backgrounds. So that is our goal at this point. We're going to be back next week on Wednesday at 7:30. So we're moving back 30 minutes on our time slot starting next week because I have a new job, and that's going to require me to be a little bit later in the evening. So that said, I really hope everyone had fun. To my players, is there anything y'all want to say or plug before we go?
No, it's a good game tonight. Good game.
Yeah.
Think
You
so.
have to come up with better insults for Leon.
Leon's still stunned.
Awesome. And
Leon's been called worse by a better class of people.
Ooh,
Ooh.
bird.
Now
He lying.
there it
He
is.
lying.
Well, much like the bread that Leon carries, I guess we're going to have to all rise to the occasion in this case.
Hey.
And with that, everyone, good evening. We look forward to seeing you in 1 week. We are about to go and raid the RPG Academy. They're also streaming right now, so please be sure to stick around and raid with us. And when you get there, be
Yes.
sure to say "caw-caw," because we're the Rooks and Rasps, right? Why not?
Oh, right.
Yeah, not caw-caw, but caw-caw.
Caw, caw, caw. There you go. Night, everyone.
Good.